What's going on, YouTube? So today we've got a special treat for you guys. We are in Seoul, South Korea. We're actually filming next to the 6th tallest building in the world, and we have a special vehicle next to us that we cannot get in the US. This is the Hyundai Staria. This is an MPV, or what we would call a minivan back in the States, and it has a ton of very unique features and, of course, a very unique shape, as you can see. So we're going to get into a quick review right now. So let's start out, of course, with our exterior design. Now, obviously, as I was saying, this kind of has that spaceship-looking appearance. As you can see with the windshield, it has a very sloped look. It really just goes straight from the hood into the windshield with a very aerodynamic design. Up in the front, you also have, kind of a mesh finish to this grille. We've got a very blacked out looking example today, so you've got the black Hyundai logos through there, and then the really sleek looking light bar that runs right across the front. Down below, we've got the crystal LED headlights with our turn signal indicators going on through there. Like I said, again, this really is a shape that's for maximizing functionality, but it also has a cool look to it as well. Now, as we look at the wheels, this would be a good time to mention this is available in a very wide variety of models. So you can get this anywhere from basically a basic cargo van all the way up to a luxury example. We have a lot of those luxury details inside of this model. As of such, we've got kind of the more luxurious looking wheels. We've got the contrast finish to these. You've got 17 and 18-inch alloy options. As far as our mirrors, you have a little bit of bronze accenting. You'll notice that in some other places on this vehicle as well. And of course, you have things like blind spot monitoring as well.
Now at the side, you're going to once again see that very unique shape here for the Hyundai Staria. As far as overall vehicle length, that's coming in about 207 inches. So compared to something like a Hyundai Palisade, which is something that we have in the States, this is going to be about 8 inches longer or so. And of course, it's very tall as well. That's one of the things you really notice here in person is just how tall this vehicle is. And you'll see how that translates to space a little bit later on. Now, as we head around to the rear of the Staria, once again, a very flat look that really maximizes your overall practicality with this vehicle. And also, you'll notice some familiar Hyundai design elements as well if you start to look at some of the details of this vehicle. We have a spoiler up top. Hidden underneath is a wiper. The glass is completely flat. We have the blacked out Hyundai badging. Then as far as our taillights are concerned, we have the pixel theme. So once again, kind of, proliferating throughout the entire Hyundai lineup is this pixel design theme. So it's full length all the way through here. You have your amber turn signals as well. And then as we drop down to the lower fascia, most of it is going to be a body color. You have a little bit more of that bronze accenting as well. And as far as the tow rating, that comes in at around 5,500 pounds as a maximum. Keep in mind there are several different powertrains for this vehicle. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well, but this one is the hybrid. You can also get a V6 or a diesel. Now, this is a family vehicle as expected, and because of that, you are going to have all of your safety systems as expected for a vehicle like this. That will include things like adaptive cruise control. It's also going to include things like highway drive assist. But really, the more important part of this vehicle is on the inside, so let's dive into that. But first, if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We started young, and since then we have reviewed over 2,000 vehicles at every price point.
No matter what you're looking for, from humble to high-end, we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family.
Let's learn a lot and have some fun with all the latest cars. All right, now moving to the inside. Of course, we've got the latest and greatest Hyundai key fob here. It also has the smart park system built into it, as well as remote start. Getting inside is as easy as reaching behind the handle that will fold out the mirrors, and you have the little bronze detailing up top on the door handle. Now, taking a look at the interior, this is where it really deviates a lot from any of the Hyundais that we have in the US lineup, that's for sure. So kind of beginning with the seats, of course, we have a leatherette seat. This is what most of the models will have on board. We also have 12 ways of power adjustment. And you have the little arm rest there for maximum comfort. We've got some controls over here on the side, but I'm not noticing any memory seats that I can see on this example. And we'll go ahead and climb inside. And now that I'm inside here, let's look around at some cabin materials. So we've got the leatherette trim all across this very functional door trim. It's got storage and a little place to grab up there at the top. You've got a cup holder up there. Looks like we have some more storage up there. Soft plastic will be what's on most of the upper parts. Then down to the center section, there's really nothing going on because this is just a completely versatile space for maximum functionality. And let's fire it back up with our push button start here. And now that it's fired up, let's look at some individual details. First of all, kind of standing up here at the very top of the dashboard, we've got a digital gauge cluster. This is about 10.25 inches in terms of the overall size. You can reconfigure the gauge design as well, like you can on most of the other Hyundai models. And we've got the blind spot camera system on board, which looks quite nice. As you can see, though, because of the location of this, I don't believe you can get a head-up display. It's kind of recessed back there, giving you the functionality of both. Now, as we move back to the steering wheel, we've got the Hyundai design here. This is very similar to what we had on our Sonata when we owned that back home in the States. You actually do have the prominent paddle shifters on the back as well. The wheel is manual tilt and telescoping, and we also have steering wheel heating located right over here. Now, I've already kind of previewed this a little bit, but the storage in here is tremendous. So just the door trims themselves are basically completely hollowed out. You already saw that. Storage up there. And then as we look into this region, you can see just tremendous storage. Looks like we've got some wipes and stuff down there. So perfect for the family. Got your couple cup holders. You have all of this empty space right through here. Got more storage back there, more storage up there, more storage through there, and more storage right here. This is also our wireless phone charging pad with ventilation. So extremely functional. Again, very different from even the related Kia Carnival hybrid that we have back home in the States, because that one's packaged a little bit more like an SUV for American taste. Now the shifter here kind of protrudes out. Got some piano black around. You can press D for drive, press R for reverse. When you go into reverse, here's our 360-degree camera system on board with a nice backup view there. And then also right in this region, that's where you notice this big panel of kind of touch capacitive buttons. So inside of this is our climate control system first and foremost, so you can adjust that up and down very easily. It looks like it's just one zone. That's interesting. I'm not sure. Yeah, so there's not buttons over there on the passenger side, so that's interesting. But you do still have heated and ventilated seats. So that's down here at the bottom part. At the top there, you'll notice we have another row. All that's also touch capacitive, so that includes your audio system. I don't know the exact specs of the audio system on board, but you can see that it is definitely a Bose sound system. And there's quite a few speakers in here because there's a lot of space for speakers. Now the infotainment system itself, this looks very, very similar to what we had on our Sonata. So this is actually not the latest CCNC system. This is the generation before that. So the display size itself is 10.25 inches. The graphics are a little bit, more outdated compared to that. Also, I don't believe you have wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. I believe you need to plug in with an approved USB connection for that. And you've got the built-in map, which is what you're looking at right there. Up top, the mirror is auto-dimming, of course. We've got a really nice suede headliner. So that really stands out for a van, that's for sure. The front moonroof has the manual sunshade that you can open up, and this part does open up completely, but notice I said front moonroof. That's because you've got this second and much larger sunroof right there, and I can press the button right there and slide that one open as well to get view maximum sunlight.
All right, but we have got to take a second to discuss the rear of this Hyundai Staria. As you can probably already tell, there's a lot to talk about because this is a very practical and luxurious place to spend time. Now, before we get any further in this review, I do want to point out, like Drew said, we are in Seoul, South Korea, and we have a very extremely limited time frame with this model, so we're not going to be able to do all the usual details that we cover in our reviews, and some of the information is very hard to find, especially because this vehicle is not sold in the United States. But be sure to comment down below if you want this vehicle to be sold in the United States. But let's go ahead and talk about some of these features. So first of all, you can see that we have a ton of room back here. And I need to go ahead and discuss overall seating capacity as well, because that's one of the really unique things about this Hyundai Staria is how many people can come along. This vehicle is available in 11 passenger seating configuration. It's available in 11, 9, and I believe this one is 7 passenger right here. You can also get a cargo van with no seats, just the 2 front seats. So there's a lot of different configurations that you can get this vehicle in. But yes, you can get up to 11 passenger seating. I'll insert a picture of what that looks like as far as the configuration is concerned, but that is ridiculous. You have 4 rows of seats. Now, for a more luxurious example like this, you are going to sacrifice a little bit of your seating capacity to get some of the luxury features that I'm about to mention here. But as you can see, I have a absolute crap ton of leg room. I don't have those official numbers yet, but I did bring, of course, the official Car Confections ruler. And as far as Drew's seating position, we are sitting at, there's a foot. I'm looking at probably 20 inches of knee room, which is absolutely insane. And as far as these seats, there are a lot of different adjustments. So I can use this little lever here on the side to slide it forward a really good distance if I wanted to do something like have a child seat installed, or I can slide it all the way back. That's kind of similar to something like the Toyota Sienna. And then as far as the controls, we're not done with features because we have both heated and ventilated second row of seats here. So those buttons are accessed here on the side. We also do have the ability to just fully recline with that. And that, of course, does mean that we also have full power adjustment. So I can really recline my seat back, add some extra comfort. I can also press this button at the same time, and you'll notice that we have the lounge seating here in the back. So yes, I do have a leg rest that will just go ahead and extend out and really make my rear seat experience absolutely fantastic here in the rear. We have nice armrests on both sides as well. And then, of course, it wouldn't be a good rear seat if you didn't have sunshades. So you do have sunshades on the rear as well. They pull down, which is interesting. I've never seen one that actually pulls down, but these sunshades pull down from the top. And then as far as the door trim itself, it has a ton of storage. As you can see, you have some bottle storage in there as well. And then there's a little bit more of pocket storage as well. Now, as far as other things, you'll look here in the center. If we press this, that's going to pop out 2 cup holders. We additionally have a power outlet, 2 USB-C ports, and then if I pull this out, we're going to have even more storage space. We also have the ability to slide the seat forward and back. We have climate controls up here in the roof, climate vents, and we also have a camera system so we can monitor what's going on here in the rear. So overall, this is a fantastic rear seat, very, very luxurious. All right, so let's go ahead and get back into the third row. We can press this button. That's going to kind of recline the seat back out of the way. I can also just easily grab that lever and slide the seat forward, or of course I can also just walk in between. And let's go ahead and take a look at the third row. Now, I'm sure you probably don't even believe that this seat is slid all the way back. But this second row seat is slid all the way back. So you have 20 inches of second row leg room. And here in the third row, I may have just as much. I mean, this is absolutely incredible, guys. I have never been in a third row that is this good, and that is saying a lot because we review thousands of cars every single year. Now, of course, I don't have the official legroom figures or anything, but once again, I brought the ruler. Over 12 inches, 15 inches of third row leg room. ridiculously nice. Of course, like I said, you can also get a 4-row version as well, so I guess that's the reason you have so much room back here, is because this is the 3-row version, and there's room even for a 4th row. Now let's talk about features as well. There are 3 seats back here as equipped. The seats are going to be nice and comfortable. There's lots of thigh support. I can fully stretch out as well. Over here on the side, we have some storage, 2 cup holders. We have a USB port as well. And then you'll notice that we have 3rd row window sunshades. Normally it's a small window, but I guess that's pretty important here in the 3rd row because it has a huge 3rd row window. As far as other features, we have vents out of the ceiling, and just look how much headroom I have. I'm 5'9" for reference, guys, and I'm still looking at like probably 4 to 5 inches of additional headroom. This knocks the 3rd row scale out of the park. This is absolutely fit for a king. And let's go ahead and check out the cargo area. In order to open it up, you do have a hands-free power one. You can just use the button right there, though. And then let's go ahead and talk about how much space you have. So as you can see, with this 3rd row of seats slid all the way back, you're not going to have a ton of space back here, really any space. That being said, of course, you can customize it, and Hyundai has made that super easy. All you have to do is grab this little lever, and you can slide the seats forward. I'd say that's probably about 8 inches that you can slide them forward to give you quite a bit of cargo capacity. Because the ceiling is so tall on this model, it's a lot of space, guys. That is for sure. Now, it's not a power folding 3rd row or anything, so you just grab this. That's going to allow you to fold the seats down. And then as far as folding the 2nd row, you can also fold those flat as well. Hyundai was quick to brag that the seats do fold completely flat to give you that maximum cargo capacity. It's a really fantastic package here. There's just tons of room. As I said earlier, you can actually get this in a cargo van version as well. So as expected, there's a ton of cargo capacity. So overall, you do have a really practical amount of space back here, as you would expect for something that is shaped like this.
Now we opened up the very little hood here so we could take a real quick look at what is underneath of it. So as you can see, kind of wedged in there, we've got a traditional engine. It's a 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, actually. Mason already mentioned earlier, this is the hybrid version of this Staria. It's also going to be available in a gas and a diesel option here in Korea. But this is very similar to actually what we have back home in the Carnival hybrid. It's making 241 horsepower when you pair that engine with the electric motor. This is also a front-wheel drive only vehicle, and in terms of our combined fuel economy on this, you're going to be looking at about 30 mpg. Andre over at the Fast Lane Car actually was piloting this for a period of time earlier today on a bit of a highway drive back from the DMZ, and when he was driving that, he was getting 31 mpg combined. So that seems like that's very accurate in terms of the estimation once you translate it over.
Now it's the point in the video where we normally would discuss pricing. Of course, this vehicle is not sold in the United States currently. Like I said, be sure to leave us a comment down below if you'd like them to sell something like this in the United States. As far as pricing is concerned, it varies a lot depending on what trim level you select and also what market you're looking to buy in. It looks to me, here in Korea at least, you can buy it for around the low $20,000 price point for the very basic cargo van version. If you want a more luxurious version, we found those in Europe sitting at around the $60,000 price point, so I'd imagine it ranges somewhere between those price points depending on what market you're in. Now, if you're looking to buy a Hyundai Staria or any new vehicle, we'd encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. The reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that'll connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, you can find that in our video description and also a pinned comment at the top of this video. And guys, that's going to wrap up our first look review at the Hyundai Staria. Of course, we had to take this opportunity while we were here in South Korea to take a look at a very cool product like this. It's actually a very popular vehicle here in South Korea. You see them driving around absolutely everywhere. So let us know if you like it down in the comments below. And if you're not already a part of our family, we'd love to welcome you in by hitting that subscribe button. You're going to be a part of our family, and I promise you won't regret it. If you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.